And there were many lights in the upper chamber where they were gathered together. And there sat in a window a certain young man named Eutychus, being fallen into a deep sleep. And as Paul was long preaching, he sunk down with sleep and fell down from the third loft and was taken up dead. And Paul went down and fell on him, and embracing him said, Trouble not yourselves, for his life is in him. When he therefore was come up again, and had broken bread and eaten, and talked a long while, even till break of day, so he departed. And they brought the young man alive, and were not a little comforted. That's Acts chapter 20, verse 8 to 12. I should say on this day, Scripture has been fulfilled. Last night, or early this morning, November 25th, 2025, I experienced this part of Acts. I had the experience of this part of Acts. I had the experience spoken of in here, but not exactly the same as it. I found myself in a gathering of some kind in this dream, and I was standing up against a wall watching this large gathering. I was also aware that this was some type of ceremony, some type of ritual, possibly some kind of worldly belief system, religious system, and something was taking place here, but it wasn't real. It was a setup to gather more people together and to grow this organization through some sort of theatrical and dramatic play where this group of people had selected this young boy to play out the part of falling over and dying, and then someone going over there and resuscitating them. The organizers of this event and the selected crowd, people they had chosen, were drawing closer and almost around this young boy. And they thought that their theater was playing out exactly the way they wanted it to play out, unaware that the boy had actually dropped dead. In my dream, I don't know why he died. He just fell down, he fell down on his face, his hands were behind his back, and he was dead. Everyone in the crowd, the people that set up this whole dramatic event, were besides themselves. They didn't understand what was going on. They had selected this young boy to play dead, when in actuality, he actually fell down during this congregation, this gathering, and was dead. And everyone was rushing around not knowing what to do. And some people were calling, get 911, 911. And other people were saying, no, that won't help him. He's dead. He's dead. We have to move him. We have to bury him. He's dead. I was standing up against the wall and I was watching this whole thing, aware, and they were not aware that I was aware of their lies and their foolishness and their silliness in order to grow this organization, putting on this show and pretending to have someone die. And in actuality, well, in this dream, the young boy that was selected to play the part of being dead actually died. Next to me was standing someone, and they said to me, the boy is dead. You know, he wasn't supposed to die. And I looked at this person, and I couldn't tell you if it was male or female. I'm guessing it was a female, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you. And I said to this person, he's not dead. Give it a few minutes. They are smothering him. He has just lost his breath and spirit, same thing. When the spirit leaves, the body is dead. When there's no breath in the body, when there's no oxygen to draw into the body is dead. And I said to this person, just leave it alone for now. This crowd has done something to deceive everyone. And just watch. You'll see that the boy will wake up in a few minutes. While everybody was trying to figure out what to do, somewhere in this organization, this group, there was some kind of ceremony taking place. I couldn't tell you what type of religion or organization it was, but there was definitely some kind of ceremony taking place. And they decided to just carry on with everything until the end of the ceremony. And that's when they would take care of the young boy who died in their presence. As this ceremony was playing out and continuing on, the person next to me grabbed my shoulder and said, "You were right. Look." And I said, "Don't look now. Just wait a second. Just wait a second and you'll see something even greater." And within a few seconds, the young boy that was actually dead came back to life, got up on his feet, and took his place amongst all the other people in this gathering, in this theater, and took his spot in his place. And the person next to me said, "You were absolutely right. How did you know that he was alive? How did you know that he was alive? Did you bring him back to life?" Then the scenery shifted and I went up to another part of my dream experience. It wasn't a revelation. It wasn't experiencing the Bible. It was my past and seeing a friend of mine in the past. I didn't revisit that scene, but when I woke up, I saw that it was from the book of Acts. It was, again, experiencing Jesus Christ through the book of Acts. And how did I experience Jesus Christ through the book of Acts? Well, Jesus Christ doesn't have to do anything in order to bring someone to life. He just has to say it is done, and that person would come back to life, be made brand new, be renewed, reborn. In the book of Acts, Luke tells us that Paul was giving a sermon, and Eutychus fell from the third floor, and he fell dead. And Paul rushed over to him, fell on him, embraced him, and brought him back to life. When you awaken spiritually, especially your second spiritual awakening, when your body really starts becoming what it truly is, spiritual, you will play out all the parts of the Bible. You will play out every single thing, and you will be the main character. And more often than not, if you're not playing a part of Paul, if you're not playing a part of Peter, if you're not playing the part of Judas, if you're not playing the part of Satan, if you're not playing the part of... You will be playing the part of God. You will be God. And in your presence, no one can die. And if someone dies in your presence, because you are there, they are restored to life and brought back to life again, just as they were. Nothing in your presence can be worldly and can be part of a system that believes in something called death. Everything has to thrive and be full of life. Everything has to live. Everything has to be beautiful and wonderful and restored and renewed to the way it was. I was playing the part of Jesus Christ. I did not have to move my hands. I did not have to fall on anyone. I just knew by saying, "Watch, wait a few minutes and you'll see something greater. Just wait." And that's all it takes. Same with Paul. Maybe Luke gave us a storyline where Paul fell on him to show some sort of connection between the two bodies together and bringing it to life. But make no mistake about it, in the book of Acts, if Paul did not have the Spirit, did not have that awakening, did not have Jesus Christ in him, did not have the Holy Spirit of God working through him, he would not have ever been able to bring that young boy Eutychus back to life. It is the power of God within you. It is when you become spiritual and you recognize your spiritual strength, and it is God that is working through you, because you and God are one. You cannot say, let's say your name is Paul, that Paul healed him. Yes, Paul had the power to heal him, but that power was given to him through his Spirit, through the Spirit of God working in him. This dream showed me that in the presence of God, no one can die. even the pretenders, even the make-believers, even those trying to build up an organization by making themselves look magical and wonderful. If God is in the presence of this kind of deceit and something horrible happens and it goes awry, not the way they planned, it has to be restored back to its natural balance, back to its natural state. That young man in my dream had to come alive again. When I said, wait a few minutes and you'll see something greater, that young man had to. His spirit, my spirit, they're one and the same. He had to become alive. He had to be reborn. He had to be renewed and restored back to himself and take his place in the silliness of the lies and deceits that this organization was playing out in front of everyone. I have not read the book of Acts in over 3 years, but this is how it happens for me. This is how it happens. Sometimes it will happen if I feel that, okay, you know what, I want to read a book, and always my go-to book is the Bible. It's just fascinating to me. It's just wonderful. And I'm not saying this so you guys can read it. You guys can make up your own mind about it when you decide to go down that road. But for me, it's the one book that I read. It has everything that I like. Like, I mean, I grew up liking comic books and horror novels and the occasional romance, biographies and whatnot. And it has all of that in there. It has everything that I could find at a bookstore or a library or a used bookstore of any kind. It has all of that in there. So I usually go to it. But I have not read it. I have not looked at the Bible in over a couple of years now, maybe 2.5 years. I've decided to kind of stay away from it because I feel I have grown enough and I understand the message in it that it is not something that I need to constantly refer to. Whereas back in the seeking phase, it was my light, it was my guide, it was my instruction, it was everything that is said in Proverbs. You know, it was my go-to book, and I became an addict and addicted to it. And I needed to read it. Like when I got up in the morning, we had a break in the afternoon or something like that, I need to go find something and read. In the evening before bed, I would spend usually an hour, almost hour and a half reading, you know. But having this experience of spiritual awakening and growing and maturing and evolving and facing every single thing that is thrown at me, I feel that it's guided me enough, and it's so much a part of me that it is not something that I need to refer to all the time. And I believe that you too, if you're going down that route with the Bible, you will see it and you will experience it, and you will get to that point where you have to be it. And to be it means you need to leave it alone. You need to just kind of push it aside. Don't turn it into a belief system, right? Don't turn anything into a belief system. You are the only belief system that is required. And you are the revelation of everything spoken of and testified in the pages of the Bible. So when you go down that road, don't turn it into an addiction, but use it through your seeking phase. Use it for times where you just want to feel comforted and whatnot, and you open it up. But don't turn it into some sort of manual and guideline or guidebook that you need to go to every time something happens in your life. At some point or another, you have to become it, because it is you that comes in the volume of the book it is written of you. So at some point, you have to become it. And so I haven't read Acts or visited any part of the Bible in a long time. Putting these videos together here over the past 20 days or so, I've been using what I have. I've been using my spiritual understanding and everything that I experience spiritually, and that includes many verses from the Bible. to draw from as inspiration to help me with sharing my experiences with you guys. Knowing that when you guys come into your experiences, and should you go down the road of the Bible, you'll have someone, a reference such as myself. Because when I did this and when it started unfolding me my first spiritual awakening in 1994, I didn't have anyone. And I hadn't heard names like Neville Goddard or Reverend Ike or Dr. Wayne Dyer or, as we have today, Rupert Spira, Eckhart Tolle. You know, I've never heard those names. Or monks from the past, that people refer to. I had only the Bible, and I only chose the Bible because I had dreams that I didn't understand, and they seemed very biblical to me, very, very biblical. And when I decided to open up that book, I was surprised, oh yeah, I dreamt about this, I dreamt about that. And one of the very first dreams that started that was having union with God, finding myself on a mountain and seeing someone that looked like the Ancient of Days sitting next to me, had his arm around me and comforted me. And I felt this love and peace and comfort that I just can't even explain, And then I didn't find Daniel after having this dream. I didn't find it in Daniel until almost like 2 years later. I had no idea where this dream came from. And part of me was just like, but there's this innate knowing. I knew I had union with God. I knew it. It was in me. And that was just a sign of greater things to come. For no one could have prepared me what would happen 30 years later. No one. I had no idea that a second coming was going to happen to me. I had no idea whatsoever. So I wasn't constantly reading the Bible when I was having these experiences. And I haven't looked at the book of Acts in ages, years now, maybe 2.5 years or so. I haven't looked at the book of Acts. The last dream experience from the book of Acts that I had, I found myself in some sort of ancient Greece setting where they held the Olympics. And I was called Mercury, and next to me was someone called Zeus. That again is from the book of Acts. When, they called Paul Mercury and they called Barnabas Zeus. And they said the gods have come down from heaven to be with us. I'm paraphrasing, but you can find it in the book of Acts. Actually, I'll post it right here. That was the last dream that I had, that I can remember having from the book of Acts until last night. Only this time, I wasn't playing the part of Paul. I wasn't the first person experience of Paul. I was myself, but I was my spirit, my spiritual self, God, Jesus Christ in the dream. I didn't have to move towards that boy and put my arms around him. I just had to say to the person next to me, watch, you're going to see something greater come from this. And that boy was restored to life. But the whole setting, everything in that dream was straight out of the book of Acts. And there was a great deception happening here. Although there is no great deception in the book of Acts, you're going to find that when you experience the Bible in this way, you're going to see some negative aspects of possibly the world around you, possibly yourself. But make no mistake about it, the greater message will be the divinity that you see of yourself in these experiences. Now, that doesn't mean you wake up in the morning and say, hey, look at me, I have this power, I'm going to go to the cemetery and raise everybody up. No, you can't do that. These are experiences showing you the creative power that you have, but also showing you that you are much more than what you really think you are. These are also experiences to help your growth spiritually. To know this is the proof that is only believable by you and cannot be proven or shown to anyone else. You can speak about it and talk about it, and be careful that you do not boast about it. and do not brag about it as though you are the only one that is having this. Many, many people are experiencing the same thing. Maybe not the exact identical thing, but they are having their own experiences. And these experiences are called faith. And that faith is for you because they cannot be proven. They cannot be proven that you are God. They cannot be proven that you have resurrecting power. They cannot be proven that you can call things into existence that do not exist. They cannot be proven, but they have to be believed by you. They help strengthen you and build your faith in you believing that you truly are greater than what you truly think you are in this world. So I just wanted to share that dream with you last night. I'm glad I had it because it has been a long time, but for me, that's how it happens. I mean, I can go years without reading the Bible and experience all sorts of things. And then when I decide to pick it up and take a look at it and read it, I'll find that all of my revelations and metaphysical experiences, everything that is building me up spiritually, come alive on those pages and show me my divinity, my spirituality, my eternal self. This is Nick. This is Tea Talk. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys next time.